Welcome to Distortion Analysis, where each episode we discuss various topics, music news, bands on tour, and share album reviews, all focused on heavy metal. Here are your hosts, Sean McKnight and William Rizzo.
All right. Episode 4 of Distortion Analysis, William.
Let's rock and roll again.
That's going to make a good soundbite for the promos I'm working on. Okay, all right. So, yes, welcome to our 4th episode. I want to start just by saying I did listen to King Horse a bit.
Oh,
yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought it was really cool. I was surprised by it in terms of like what was it? It was the production value was one of the things that stood out to me because it sounds so well produced. It sounds like it was produced now.
Yeah.
And that for a punk recording from the 90s, I was like, "Oh my God." So just like the quality of the production was really something that caught me off guard.
It's not muddy at all.
No, not especially, and for a punk band, I kind of expected it to sound thin and kind of old punky from the 90s. And then when I was like, "Oh my God, this is like a full production that sounds like really like again like a modern quality. It had like a modern quality to it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the vibe I got out of it. And then the second thing I did notice was we talked about Glenn Danzig producing it.
Yes.
And he like I was curious about his influence on it. And I didn't really hear too much in the music, but the vocals, I was like, oh, okay.
Right.
There's
Right.
definitely some vocal stylings. They're not ripping him off or anything, but
No.
I can hear a little bit of maybe some influence from him, or just or maybe they were inspired by him or something, or influenced by him, from prior work or something. But the vocal, I was like, there's definitely a little bit of an Evil Ellis thing in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that's part of what kind of hooked me into it once I first started listening to it. I'm like, they definitely are Danzig fans.
Yeah.
Or Misfits fans.
Misfits, yeah, for sure. Yeah, but I thought it was a good album, and I couldn't believe how current it sounded. That really surprised me. Yeah.
All the instruments are just like, they're very pristine,
and distinct.
The way that it was mixed together, the mix sounds very clean and free of like artifacts and
big time. Yeah.
You knew it was being recorded and mixed by somebody that knew what they were doing.
Oh, for sure. That engineer totally knew what they were doing. So yeah, because I mean the separation is clear. It's not muddy. The drums even sound good, which often for punk bands they often sound like cardboard. But you know what I mean? So but this was like really, really like pro quality stuff. And I was just like, damn, it sounds like something they could have recorded today.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I was really impressed.
And the songs are good.
They are good. They have good hooks.
Songwriting. Some of that shit pumps me up, man.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, there's great hooks on there. It was a solid album. It's a shame they only lasted like one album.
Yeah.
I guess. So that's kind of a drag that they didn't have more to them than that.
Yep.
But hopefully
well, look at it this way. On the bright side, later that decade, we ended up with Britney Spears. So, I think we made up for the loss of King Horse.
I guess. I think that might be a mixed blessing. I'm not sure. So, all right. All right. So let's slide into the topic of the podcast. So the topic of the podcast this time was I read that David Lee Roth has announced a new tour. And I also saw Motley Crue is also touring for a reunion tour.
I heard that.
Yeah. So the topic this week is our discussion of like the older bands and them touring. Now, a little bit more specifically, when should they retire? Is it up to them or the fans kind of a thing? And and so let's get your thoughts first on this. So when you heard about those guys touring, what was your first reaction to that?
Well, you may have seen recent performances of David Lee Roth.
Yeah, I have.
They are less than complimentary.
Yes.
And it sucks because he was a great vocalist.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's just like he's just, so out of practice that because he didn't keep up with it over the year. I don't know what he's been doing in the background, but maybe he just doesn't have the pipes for it anymore, and that's fine. But I would just hang that up. What I'd say is there's a difference between older bands that have been continuously at it for many, many years and they want to go on another tour, a final tour, or whatever.
Yeah.
And bands that, retired 10, 15, 20 years ago, and now they're coming back and they're not the same band.
Right.
And then you start saying, well, what is the purpose of this? And a lot of people characterize it as a money grab.
Yeah. Yeah.
So for those reasons, look, everybody's got to make a living.
Yeah.
And you know what? So what? If they do a good job at it, then
Sure.
it's worth your money to show up at the show and have a good time and watch them rehearse the old hits. But if they just, I don't know, if the magic isn't there anymore, you're gonna notice it.
Well, I noticed the magic with David Lee Roth particularly had been gone for quite some time, a long time ago, and because I witnessed this firsthand myself. Back in late 90s, early 2000s, somewhere in that time period, he did a tour called the Sam and Dave Tour, him and Sammy Hagar. I think it was kind of a fuck you to Van Halen a little bit.
Huh.
So, but they did a tour together, and what they were doing is they were co-headlining. So they'd take tours headlining, back and forth between the venues, and then that was the tour, right? Now, when I saw them, Sammy crushed it. He was awesome. Whole band was good. He was great. They were, he was tight. The whole thing was tight. He was great. But then I saw Roth, and Roth was actually first. Can you turn down your speaker a little bit? I'm hearing a little bit of
Yeah. Hold on 1 second.
feedback there. We're so professional here at Distortion.
Hold on.
I'm not editing this out. I'm just not.
How's this better?
That's better. Thank you.
All
All
right.
right. So, but anyway, when I saw them, his set was first. And when he came out, it was already kind of sad because he was trying to wear the spandex and stuff from like the 80s. And oh, yeah. And he was already going bald at that point. So he had these hair extensions in, which I could see from where we were in the stadium. Like I wasn't close to him, but I could see from the distance where we were sitting from the side. I was like, he's got hair extensions. So you could tell. And he was trying to jump around and stuff. And it just wasn't. It was like him going through the motions of it. He felt like he almost like he had to do it, like he was trying to live up to some shadow of the past or something.
Yeah.
And then so it just seemed forced and kind of lame looking because he wasn't doing the high kicks and stuff like he used to. And
Sure.
it was already starting to go south on him. And then the voice wasn't great either. He just wasn't singing very well.
Yeah.
So and all those things combined, I was like, ooh, and that was back. This is like almost like 20 years ago now. So now, like you said, we've seen these videos of him. It's like, ooh, that's not good. So
It's tough to watch.
yeah. So I kind of feel like I don't know if he's had money problems or not. I would think he'd have a pile of money just to go sleep on if he wants to. But
Hmm.
given all the success in the past, but so I don't know if he does it for the money or not. But for me, it does kind of feel like even with somebody like that, it feels like he's shortchanging the fans.
Yeah.
I mean, you
They're
know what I
doing
mean?
him a disservice.
Yeah, I mean, especially if you're paying some crazy amount of money to go
Oh,
see
yeah.
this show or something. It's like $200 a ticket or whatever it is, 150, whatever he's charging. And then you go there and you're like, he sings on a tune. It's just kind of not, you know what I mean?
Cringy.
Cringy. Yeah. So I'm just kind of like, I don't know. It feels like a disservice in some
Yeah.
way.
The same could be said for AC/DC at this point.
Yeah.
I make no mistake about it. I bow to them as gods of rock.
Right.
But I don't know if you've seen
I haven't.
video
I'm
of
curious.
Angus lately. And
No, what?
he's still wearing
The
schoolboy
thing.
outfit.
That is cringy. That's
and it
cringy.
just looks bad at this
Can he,
point.
is he still playing up to the same level?
And his playing is still pretty good, but
Okay.
like his movement around the stage. I mean, the guy's what is he, 70?
70 something. Yeah.
70
he's got-
something?
Oh, yeah. He's got to be up
Props to him for still feeling like he's got it to
Yeah.
get up there.
there.
But at some point,
maybe
when
let
you're
go of the
that-
schoolboy thing. Maybe let go of the schoolboy thing.
do away with that. I
Yeah.
mean, if they were going to make such a radical change to their band, like
Yeah.
having Stevie step in for Malcolm after
yeah.
Malcolm
When
passed
Malcolm
away,
yeah.
maybe they could have
That could have been
kinda
the
switched
shift.
up.
That could have been the shift. Yeah.
and just say, hey, we're still AC/DC, but
like
we're going to
part
do
two.
things a little different. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't have the moves that he used to. When I saw them in '91, he was still doing the whole going out
Yeah.
right up to the crowd
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
going nuts and running back and forth and then doing the whole striptease act where he
Yeah.
moons the audience, but nobody wants to see that shit now.
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean about like, at least I mean if they're playing well, then sure, play tour great, would love to see them. But yeah, that's maybe some of the aspects they have to kind of look at and go, well, maybe we need to let yeah, shift that around. And then
Yeah.
one of the other bands I wanted to discuss with this in mind is of course Motley Crue. And I
Yep.
got kind of a crawl my I got a thing at my crawl about those guys.
Do tell.
What pisses me off about them is that um, they announced years ago that they were going to do this big final tour where it was just
Oh,
like,
that's
this was
right.
it. This is the final tour. You're never going to see us again. This is it. Blah, blah, blah. Right? Got all these people to queue up, spends all kind of money thinking this is the last crew tour ever. And then they just kept touring. It's like they took a
Yeah.
year off and then they just kind of kept coming back and they were doing shows after show after show. And now they're doing some other reunion tour. And I'm like, well, that's kind of shitty. It's like,
Yeah.
well, why are they, they keep doing this thing where they announce these retirement tours. And then it just turns out to be like another cash grab thing where they can just charge more money because people think it's the end. It's all a big ruse. That pisses me off. And
Yeah,
then on
they're not
top of it,
fooling anybody either.
well, I mean, they're obviously fooling some people because they're showing up and buying the tickets, but that still buy into it, and they don't. I don't know if they don't care or whatever, but then my other problem with them is the part two of that is kind of going back to the David Lee Roth thing, where Vince can't sing, man.
Oh yeah.
Have
Yeah,
you
that's
seen
true.
Have you seen any of the videos?
It's it I think I've seen clips, but not of like their performances.
I'll send you one.
Like on news shows I've
Yeah,
seen.
well, I'll send you one where they're showing the whole song "Kickstart My Heart."
Yeah.
And what and what they do is while he's singing, somebody put up the lyrics next to his like below him where he's singing, and the words aren't matching up at all to the original song. He's just like it's like he can't remember the lyrics, and he's just inventing words that sound like the lyrics.
That's a problem.
Oh my God. I'll send it
Yeah.
to you and you'll see what I'm talking about. And it's hysterical to watch. It's a really funny video.
I think I've heard of that
Oh
clip.
my God, you have to see it. It's really
It's
funny.
comical, yeah.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
and it's
But
such a shame. When you
but
get to that level of notoriety,
yeah,
you have a brand to take care of.
yeah.
And that's not caring for it.
Well, and again, disservice to the fans. I mean, one thing people were pissed off about the whole way they treated McMars and the way that went down. But people, I don't think there's anything wrong with John 5, but at the same time, though, that was part of what was their part of their attitude was the problem. Because the way that those guys are kind of dicks, and the way they
Oh,
treated him about that whole thing about
I don't even know what
he has
happened
a
with that.
he has a spine condition where his spine is hardening. So that's why he can't really tour anymore because he's just too rigid and he can't
Oh,
like
what does he have? Like stenosis?
something like that. I don't know the
Yeah.
name, but that might be it, something like that. But anyway, he can still play. It's just that he can't really tour. He can't stand for long periods of time, but he can still sit and play and
Oh,
things like that. So he's still doing solo albums. But then that was the whole reason that they were kind of like, well, we don't really want to work with him anymore. And they kind of shoved him to the side. And he was like, well, I can still do shows. I just can't tour, so we could figure something out. They were like, no, that's okay, you're done. And they just kind of shoved him off to the side, and they kind of acted like
oh,
he did, and they kind of acted like he didn't matter anymore. And everybody's like, he was like one of the primary songwriters, and all the riffs are him, and
that's right. Yeah.
so he's like 10 years older than those guys, so they always had this age gap thing in there. So that's something that
Oh, I didn't
separated
know
them.
that.
Oh yeah, yeah. He was like before the crew started, he was actually a semi successful like blues guitarist and studio guy.
No shit.
So yeah, yeah, yeah. He had already had this history before he got into Crew, and then when Crew came about, then he kind of adopted the whole look and whatever, and then he leaned into that. But if you look up early McMars, he looks like he would have been in Leonard Skinner.
Huh.
Yeah. So, but it's one of those things where, going back to the touring thing, I don't know. What do you think about them as far as what they're doing? Crew.
I, I mean, if it's not doing justice to the brand, then it needs to stop. If
Yeah.
it's not the Motley Crue that used to look, unless if you announce that you're like with the AC/DC example, if you're changing up the formula a little bit and going in a different direction, which a lot of bands do. I mean, look what Metallica did.
Sure.
with changing direction. So and a lot of their fans walked away, but they gained a hell of a lot more than they lost.
Absolutely. That's right.
So it's possible to change directions, but be honest with yourselves and be honest about, when you do an interview, say, this is a new direction. This is something new we're trying. But that's not what Motley Crue is doing. They're saying, come back out and hang out with us like it's 1986, man.
And
But it's
funny.
not.
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the things they're doing this, they call it the reunion tour. They're trying to get bands to come out with them from the 80s. So they have, I think Extreme is on some of the dates, and I forget who the other band was that they mentioned, but they have a couple bands from that sort of period. And they were
Yeah.
trying to get some other bands to reunite to come. Like Skid Row was one of those bands. They wanted them to get back to Sebastian. And Skid Row's is like, they're like, nope, because
Yeah.
they hate him. So those guys hate each other. So they said they will never reunite with him. So I
Okay.
mean, yeah, ever, like
Well,
forever. So
good for them.
that's yeah. So they kind of cut that off for good because they didn't want to deal with him. But that was one of the things that they were trying to do is get these other nostalgia bands back together as a
Yep.
means of kind of like just I guess boosting up the tour or whatever they were doing there. But that's kind of the plan. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
So
it's a tough card to be dealt when
what,
that long in the tooth, but you still want to be active
right.
in the industry. You have to have a clear head about it. You have to have like kind of a mission statement, really, that
Mm.
you're sticking with, so that you have a direction and it's just not like crazy random shit flying all over the place.
Well, let me pose this to you. Do you think like should the fans have a say in this? Like if the fans are saying you guys need to retire, is that something that a band should listen to, or do you think that it should be like, meh, it's just our thing, and the hell with you guys? Because it feels like there's sort of a symbiotic relationship there. And if the fans are feeling like you said that they're kind of not upholding the brand, or they're, I paid all this money and he sucks,
Right, 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 right.
can I say that and say, look, dude, stop this? You know what I mean? So do you think there's anything anything to that?
Well, another tough call, because a band's success would be nothing without their fans.
Right?
A band could say, well, we're just doing what we want to do. We're writing music for ourselves, and if other people like it, cool.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we don't care. You're walking a dangerous line there,
Yeah.
because you don't want to alienate people just because you're strong-willed and single-minded about the purpose of what you're doing. But you can't get by without playing shows, selling records. If you want to actually have, unless none of that matters to you. Occasionally you see these crazy like indie artists that they're like, I don't care about anything. I just do what I want. But that's not what the MO of any of the bands that we just
No,
discussed.
no,
These
no.
are well-established bands who have been around for decades. We've talked about Rush before,
Right.
going back out and playing live shows
Different
after they
drummer.
said they weren't going to do that.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, it's of course they're allowed to do whatever they want,
Sure, of
but
course.
the fans do technically have a say.
I think so.
If they don't, if they say, that's lame, that's cringy, I saw that show, I want my money back.
Yeah.
That should be direct feedback to a band that supposedly, cares about his fan base.
Right on. Well, and I think there's other opportunities for them to go out too. I know they're getting older. Like, I mean, David Lee Roth could always just do appearances and sign autographs, or do something like that. I mean, there's meet and
Read
greet
the
stuff.
room.
Exactly, read the room. So yeah, all right. So anything else on that topic?
You
We're
know what
good.
I had to say about it?
Okay, that will move us over into music news. All right, so I read that Metallica is setting up a residency in the Sphere
Oh yeah.
in Las
Yep.
Vegas. Did you hear about that?
I did.
What did you think about that? I thought that'd be pretty damn cool, actually, to see them in the Sphere.
Yeah, I mean it's because of the venue.
Right, exactly. Yeah, exactly. I don't really have a big urge to see them, period. Like
Yeah,
I didn't really go out for the last tour or anything. Nothing against them. I'm just not that into them right now anyway.
sure.
But that show, I think I'd be like, yeah, I kind of want to see that.
Yeah, if I was in Vegas or had plans to be there at any time during that residency, that would be a stop on my list of things to do out there.
Yeah, that would be cool. I think the visuals would be pretty awesome in that.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Like I've seen Metallica a few times actually, And um, the last time was in like 92,
Okay.
91, 92. The
Yeah.
Black Album.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, I wouldn't want to see him now.
Yeah,
But then
no.
the Metallica movie came out,
Yeah.
like 10
Some kind of
years ago?
yeah, 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 yeah.
And I was like, we're going to go because
Okay.
I wanted to see the experience on the screen and have it
Right.
be, like loud. And it was great, man. I mean, the whole movie theater audience was all Metallica fans. It was kind of a neat,
Oh, that's
it was
fun.
a novel experience.
Yeah, that's fun. Yeah. So the other thing that one of the things I thought about with that when I was reading about that, they're setting up a residency there, was I think for the people that live there, it's going to be really interesting to see those images up on that dome because you can see them on the outside. So you know
That's
what
right.
I mean? So that's going to be like, what's going on over there? So I
Yeah.
think that's going to be like depending on what visuals they have up there, it's going to be fun to watch
Well,
and see how.
those residents have seen so much crazy shit that they're
That's
probably just gonna be
true.
like, that's just the next thing.
That's true. Yeah, that's a fair point. Yeah, they're pretty. I'm sure they're pretty desensitized by now.
Yeah, I mean, well, who just got finished with the residency there? Was it Fish?
Uh, yeah, I think Fish was doing one. I forget who else was there.
Yeah,
I know you two did one for a little bit.
yeah.
So there's been a couple in and out, but I don't think anything too radical up until this point. But yeah,
Mhm.
so we'll see how it plays out.
It's such a
Um,
shame that Vegas is so expensive. It's gotten so expensive lately.
ugh, yeah.
It basically cuts off a large segment of people who would have loved to just go there for a cheap vacation. Like they
Well,
used to be cheap.
yeah. Well, I don't know if they're gonna with the economy now. It's kind of empty out there, so it's something maybe they'll
Yeah,
do to incentivize maybe people to come back, especially if Metallica gets out there. That'll be
yeah,
something people would want to travel to see.
yeah.
So I also saw in the news that Vicious Rumors are back with a new video album and tour. Are you familiar with them?
Vicious Rumors, is that the Mike Muir band? No, that's
Uh,
Infectious Grooves.
no,
Never
that's
mind.
Infectious Grooves. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. No, it's one of the bands, sort of the thrashy bands from like the '90s. So they had a moment, and then they're back with a new tour. It's one of those bands that was a little bit more obscure.
Okay.
I was into them for about a minute there, and I like the band, but I always find those bands interesting where they had a window of time where they had a moment. Now they're still kind of lingering. And some people know about them, some people don't, but they still have a career somehow. So that's one of the things I always found kind of interesting. So,
Okay.
so are
I
you,
never got into them. I remember the name,
you do? Okay.
but never checked them out.
Okay. You
What
might
what
like them. You might want to take, they're kind of an early thrashy band. So yeah, they're pretty good though. The musicianship is pretty good. It's been a minute since I've heard them, but I don't know what they're doing now. But back in the day, they had some pretty cool stuff going on. That's why I was just kind of, that was a name out
okay.
of nowhere. It's like hearing if like Raven goes out on tour or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Where are they from?
I forget. I thought they were a Canadian band, but I don't know. I have to look that up. Some vicious rumors. I'm not really sure. I don't know their history that much. So, but then also in the news, Poison
Mm,
was supposed to there's supposed to be a reunion tour, but that got nuked.
I think what was it? Brett Michaels wanted an un ridiculous amount, basically, of the share.
He wanted six times what the other members were being paid. That's what he wanted. Yeah. So, and I guess the other guys came out and they're like, that's not gonna work.
Yeah.
So that the whole thing kind of died. So,
Somebody's still doing cocaine.
and just before I forget, Vicious Rumors are an American power metal band originally formed in 1979 in the Bay Area, which I didn't know they went back that far. So, yeah, there you go.
Wow. So
Yeah,
they were there from like the earliest
back
days
in the
of
day, man. 79,
Exodus,
dude.
Testament.
Yeah, Metallica,
Wow. All
Megadeth.
right.
So they're back from that time period, same area too. So yeah, look them up. Vicious Rumors. But yeah, so going back to this, yeah, I read that article about he wanted six times and then I guess they confronted him about it, and he was like, and he didn't say anything about the money. He was just kind of like, well, it's a shame that we can't make this happen, blah blah blah. So he didn't say anything about like why it's not happening. He just kind of like skirted the issue a little bit.
Okay.
So.
I mean, it's interesting because it could be a cover for maybe he didn't want to do it.
Oh, interesting.
And
Interesting.
then he just said, I'll just say it's the money.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I'm wrong, but
No, well, you might not be off about that. I'm sure they would make a gazillion dollars with the reunion, but he has like his own Brett Michaels band and stuff that he's doing now anyway. So
oh,
I don't
does
know.
he? Yeah.
Yeah, he's got some solo band that he does. So I'm guessing he's playing all the Poison stuff in there. But yeah, I don't know. It's like How how would you resolve that if you were in that band and you were the guitarist and that came up?
Yeah.
What would you how would you approach that? If this is
I
like your
mean,
old if this is like your old band or something.
yeah, I mean, if I was fucking CC DeVille and I was like trying to get everything going for a final, just a reunion tour, just a one-off,
Yeah.
I, I don't know. Like, well, first of all, he's irreplaceable.
Yeah.
You can't go out as Poison without Bret Michaels,
Right, right.
period.
Yeah,
So
for sure.
I would say, I don't know. I mean, there's got to be a way to negotiate you down
Hmm.
to a reasonable compensation.
Do you think the other guys had the same panache that he did? Like if they replaced Bobby Dahl or the drummer Ricky Rocket or anybody, if would they have the same kind of like level of what I mean? As far as like could you replace the drummer and not care?
Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah, the panache is a good word for it because, yeah, if the drummer needed replaced, I think they could go out with a different drummer,
And
a
get away
different
with that.
maybe a different bassist. But
Yeah,
CC and Brett
those two, the
they're
guitarists,
kind of, yeah, they're
iconic.
irreplaceable.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I even thought that Ricky Rocket's somewhere kind of along those lines. The one guy I thought replaceable would be the bass player, and I'm a bass player, so that's. But Bobby
Yeah,
Dahl, I think, was probably the least remembered, recognizable guy of that group.
yeah,
So, but that's just my opinion. I don't know if I'm right about that. But that's one of those things that I was kind of thinking about. I was like, is he really worth that much compared to everybody else? Because you're right, you can't replace him. He's definitely not replaceable. But I think Bobby Dahl, you could swap him in and out, and then nobody would care as much. I think they'd still
right.
get to see it anyway.
Here's a novel idea. Talking about Sebastian Bach, I
Yeah.
would say maybe we could ask Sebastian Bach if he wants to go out on the road.
There,
Because I think a lot of people be like, that might be
that's
interesting.
not too bad. Yeah.
I'll buy a ticket to go see that
Yeah.
because
Well,
he's still a good vocalist.
Well, they've had some interesting vocal substitutes, like Skid Row, going back to them for a minute. Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm
Uh-huh.
was touring with them and doing the vocals. So she was playing guitar, like rhythm guitar, I guess, and doing the vocals instead of him. And people loved it. They were all over it.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I
So,
didn't know that.
oh, yeah, yeah. So, because they've had different vocalists coming in and out a little bit. And then they had this tour booked, and then they lost the singer. So they asked her to substitute. And she jumped in and it sounded like it went well. So,
Huh.
so yeah, so stuff like that happens and that worked. So,
Yeah.
so I'm just kind of curious, but it seems like this one, I guess, is a little bit a tougher nut to crack. All right. Anything else in music news? Do you have anything else on your mind?
Um, well, there was the recent statement that I don't want to have this devolve into like a political
No, that's fine. Yeah,
thing,
that's fine.
but
It's good.
there was a piece about the guy from Lamb of God,
Yeah.
Randy Blythe,
Randy Blythe.
who apparently was posted a lengthy statement about what's going on
Oh,
with
yeah, I saw that.
ICE in
Ice and
Minneapolis.
yep, I saw that.
Yeah, and I mean the guy's pissed off and rightfully so.
Yeah.
Um, what he's saying here is uh where is it? I want to read this quote.
Yep, go for
This is crazy. Um, where the hell is the quote?
it.
Okay, so I'm reading it. Okay, wake up, motherfuckers. Business as usual is done.
Hmm.
I'm not Democrat or Republican, which is I identify that with
Same
that.
here. Same here.
So I don't have a partisan dog in the fight. I just want this dementia-riddled sociopath and his cabinet of freaks removed from office and replaced with someone with at least a semblance of care for the common good, hopefully before he drags us into World War III.
Right on.
Now, he's not the only person saying things like this because, we've had just since the last episode that we taped, more violence is breaking out.
Right.
It seems like people are losing their shit even more. So I know that we were discussing should politics be in music
Yeah. Yeah.
as a topic, and maybe we want to save this for a different episode.
Yeah.
To, like expand on
Well,
it a little
for
more.
sure. Yeah, for sure. We can definitely do that. Yeah.
Yeah, but this just got said
Oh, well, and like you said, it wasn't just them. I know Converge came out around the same time and was
Yeah,
also saying stuff about ICE. And then Dropkick Murphys have been on a tear
yeah,
about
yeah.
they've been writing songs about ICE and things like that too. So yeah, I don't think, and I'm glad you brought this up in the news segment because at this point I feel like the politics are unavoidable. Now we're not going to turn this into a political show. You and I have discussed that already, so we're not going to do
Right,
that. So
right, right,
just
right.
anybody listening, don't worry about it. We're not going to get into this political thing. That's not what this show is about. But there are times when politics affects music, and that's where we'll get into it. Not the idea of right and wrong and which side you should land on and all that's
Right.
all the ideological stuff. It's going to be more about like, okay, well, how does this affect music? And at this point, for them to come out, now he's always pretty vocal about stuff, but for him to make a public statement like this is it's kind of a different level. Because
Yeah.
those guys don't like to get that far into it and be all political unless there's something that there's a reason to be, right?
Hmm.
And of course, now things are elevated to the point where they feel like they kind of have to say something now. Like
Yeah.
they almost feel like, in some ways, at least from what I was seeing in his the other wording and the other stuff he was saying, it was almost like they feel if you're not doing something or saying something, you're kind of fucking this up and you should be paying attention. I think there's
Hmm.
some of that as far as
Hmm.
the point that they're trying to make. It's trying to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
people to pay attention to it, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I think that's where it's coming from. I think it's a good place, but it is something I think we all are reckoning with to some degree right now.
Well, if nothing else, it's a plea for people to start thinking about how things are affecting everyday life
For
now,
sure. Yeah.
and that's all like I keep going back to Napalm Death, one of my favorite outfits, right?
Mhm.
They that's the whole thing that Barney the singer it talks about. It just wants people to really kind of think about their point of view,
Yeah.
and to try to just educate themselves as much as possible to form an informed decision
Right.
instead of just being ignorant about something and going along with what a crowd is saying.
Yeah.
Form your own opinion.
Or being apathetic to the point where you're not paying attention to it at all and you have no idea what's going on.
Yeah,
Because
right.
there's a lot of that going on too.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, a little bit too much of that for my taste. Okay, so anything else?
that's it.
Yeah, that was a good way to end. All right, so wrapping up the news there, and now we're on to the album review. So, yes. Now, of course, this is my pick for this week. I chose the band Unearth, who was formed in Boston in 1998. So they've been around for a while. And I have to confess, they've been around for that long, but I was a little late to the party on them. So
Okay.
the reason, yeah, the way I found them was I'd heard the name here and there, but I didn't really listen to anything until they were touring with In Flames a couple years ago. That show I told you that I missed.
Mm.
They were opening for them, and I was like, okay, well, I wonder what they're like, so I'm gonna check them out since they were opening for In Flames. And then as soon as I listened to it, I was like, oh my God. And then this is the
Mm.
first album that I started with, and the album is by Unearth, The Wretched and the Ruinous, which
Mm-hmm.
came out in 22. So let's start with you. What'd you think?
The let's see.
Or 23,
Pr-
sorry, 23.
The great production is great on this album.
Right?
Flawless production.
Oh my God, so cool, so
Total
clean.
fucking guitar porn. Actually, let me reword it a little bit.
Go
Total
for it.
fucking down-tuned guitar porn. Uh, and then I have here is that last riff for real? The last riff of the last song is
Yeah,
so badass.
right.
But there's so many good points in this whole record. It gets catchy.
Oh yeah, the hooks are
They're
great.
like it's like Slipknot mixed with Judas Priest, uh, and it's also like Pantera mixed with Iron Maiden.
Yeah, yeah. I
There's
was
a
gonna say
lot,
Maiden. Okay, yeah, cool. Yep.
those guitar players like Maiden, man. That dual guitar
Oh yeah,
melody.
yeah, yeah,
Whoa,
yeah.
I
Well,
loved it.
the harmonies remind me a little bit of like um the Gothenburg sound a little bit, like early Dismember, Again, In Flames for sure.
Oh yeah, I can
Yeah,
see
stuff
that.
like there's some of like if you listen to the leads and stuff, there's a lot of
Yeah,
that sort of harmony stuff that they're doing, and that did remind me a lot of the Gothenburg sort of early death metal stuff, like guitar sounds, not the overall like Entomb kind of vibe, but I'm just talking about like the leads and things like that.
right.
So yeah, so what else did you think of the album?
Well, I appreciated that there were several videos to several of the songs to
Yeah, right on.
enjoy.
Yeah,
I really liked what was that called? Mother Betrayal.
Mother Betrayal. Yeah, it's one of my favorite songs on there.
Yeah. I have
Yeah.
here felt a little bit like Pink Floyd.
Yeah, well, the way it starts, it's got that kind of like atmospheric dun, 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 as it's building up, and then he's kind of got the vocal where he's kind of just sort of he's not really
Yeah.
deathy with it yet. He's just kind of like almost like chanty, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden it just explodes.
It breaks into the heaviness.
Oh my God. So
Yeah.
that build and then that explosion that it goes into, because that's one of the things I found really interesting about them. They're not just like pound, pound, pound. There's a lot of like dynamics to what they do, time shifts, lots of different signatures going on in there. So yeah, and the leads and the guitar, the way they kind of blend that together, it's like crazy good guitar stuff in there. Like you
It's
said,
the
guitar porn. That's a perfect description.
they're completely locked into each other, definitely. I really liked Call of Existence.
Yes, yes,
I
yeah,
don't know what it is. It's just like the melody of it is just it drags you in
yeah,
and you just kind of feel like you want to start singing it yourself. It's pretty
yeah.
cool.
I have that with uh because I often I often listen to death metal while I'm baking. I got into baking in the last year or so, and I'm just listening to like death metal while I'm baking.
Real
So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're not burning a lot of shit, are you?
I just burned some biscuits, so a little bit here and there. Uh, not a whole lot, but every once in a while.
Uh,
Uh, but yeah, but like one of the songs that gets me going is Eradicator, and
oh,
I love his voice when he's doing when he goes Eradicator. When he just
yeah.
sort of like unleashes like that, I'm like, oh my God, I'm losing my fucking mind when he does
He's an
that.
amazing vocalist.
Holy shit. And
Yeah.
he's got that thing where he's not just one note where it's just like the whole time because there are vocalists and they're fine. There's nothing wrong with that, but that's kind of very one-dimensional.
Yeah.
But with him, he's got that thing where he does a lot of layering stuff.
Hmm.
Like if you listen to the end of the first song, The Wretched and the Ruinous, they had that chant at the end where they're like, no
Yes.
heroes. And then
Yes.
he's like going, The Wretched and the Ruinous, like, and he's screaming that on top of it, but it doesn't step on the toes of the other vocal.
No, not at all.
You know what I
It,
mean?
it all works.
It all works. All that layering in there, it's all distinctive, but it's also complementary. It all just kind of like works together.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was one of
Yeah.
the things that yeah. And then two of my other favorites were Invictus and also Dawn of the Militant.
Hmm.
Oh my,
Hmm.
and also Broken Arrow. Those are like my favorite tracks on there.
I
So
have for uh let's see, Eradicator, catchy chorus,
yeah.
guitar porn into my left ear. Because there's that break where they
Yeah.
stop playing and then
Oh
he's
yeah.
just ripping that riff and
Right,
on
right,
the,
right,
on the
right.
left
Yeah, it's just
side.
on the other side. That's right. They do a lot of balance stuff. They go back and forth a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Uh I don't know, like I was in a kind of an altered state when I listened to this, so I don't really understand this comment, but
What was it?
it says slop that shit down like gravy. So
That's going in
I think I think I was just respecting the groove.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Say that again.
Slop that shit down like gravy.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
I think maybe we can end the review there.
I very much enjoyed the album.
Okay, good.
Nice pick. Nice
Thank
pick.
you. Thank you. Yeah, I started going back in their back catalog, which I do recommend. Like what I found about this album though is this is definitely like an evolved, mature version of what they are becoming. Like the other albums are good, don't get me wrong, but there's just something about like every song is good on this,
Yeah.
and they're all just so well crafted. It feels like they just became such like more heightened songwriters on this album. Not to say they weren't good before, but it just seems like compared to the other older stuff I've heard, that this is just a more mature, realized album, I guess. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
No, I totally agree. It's very difficult to write a record and not have and just have it not only to have all good songs on it, but the way that it tells the story of the album and the
Right.
flow of it
Yeah.
and they knocked it out of the park on this album.
Yeah.
I
I
know
thought,
what you mean, because there's lots of metal albums where it's like there's a great section and then there's a couple stinker songs,
yeah.
then it
Yeah.
picks back up again. This album's not like that at all.
No, it's like every song's solid, and they have that little break in there with the on I don't know if I'm saying this right, Aniara, where it's
Yeah,
that little musical interlude that they do in there with the guitar stuff.
incredible, beautiful,
Yeah.
but building to what exactly
Well, Into
is
the
what I had.
Abyss. That's what it built to.
Into
The
the
song that
Abyss,
follows, yeah, Into the Abyss.
which I have a more melodic kill switch engage,
Nice.
groove, and some Dio in there.
Oh yeah, I can hear that. Yeah, I can hear that for sure. So, all right. Anything else to add?
They're going to come out with another record, I think, in March.
Is that
I
right?
think
Is it coming out in
I,
March?
I think I just read that today. Yeah.
Oh, I gotta look for that. They're on Century Media. Okay,
Yep.
so just heads up for anybody listening. All right, so check them out. New album in March. I will definitely be getting that. We'll probably review
Rock
that one
on.
too. Okay. All right, moving on. We are over to the Mystery Band. So, my turn.
Yes.
So now I'm going to tee this up a little bit. So the way I found this band was they were opening for Meshuggah in Europe. Now I didn't see that tour, but I'm always curious about who has the balls to open up for Meshuggah. So I was like, who's this band, right? So I looked them up, and then I found this again, this deep rabbit hole that I fell down. They have an interesting origin. It started off with the main singer. His name is Manuel Gagno. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. He was born in Switzerland, but he has it's like he's Swiss and American, so his parents were mixed that way. And he kind of got a little bit fame early on as sort of a solo artist for a little bit. And then he started doing this thing where he was getting people to kind of his fans and just music fans to kind of critique his music. And then he was looking at these challenges. He's like, hey, I want you guys to challenge me. So send me two types of music that I will start to mash up together just as an experiment, right?
Mm.
So one of the people, now he's black. So just because that's gonna matter for this next thing I'm gonna say. So when he issued that challenge, one of the challenges was someone said, "Hey, why don't you take slave music and mix it with black metal?" Now, when they said slave music, they didn't use the word slave. They used another word I'm not going to obviously use right now. So it was a very racist thing that they said. So yeah, so I don't know how he reacted to that statement when it was said, but I think part of it was he took on the challenge. He's like, "All right, you piece of shit, I'm gonna answer this call and I'm gonna, do this thing."
Yeah.
So started mixing this music together. It was kind of like more like old blues and gospel and stuff like that. And then he started to weave this thing together, and then it became this band because he just tried it as an experiment, but then he put it out and he's like, I think I'm onto something here. And so it evolved into this band. So it's called Zeal the band is called Zeal and Ardor. Zeal
Wow.
and Ardor. Yeah.
Okay.
Now, when you listen to them, you want to listen to now there's several albums. I'm going to recommend the album Grief. It's their most recent album. So Zeal and Ardor. Look for the album Grief. They have several albums out right now. I have pretty much everything that they put out. They have an EP out. They have another album out, self-titled, things like that. So, but I would just go to Grief. Listen to it the whole way through. And I've never heard a more eclectic mix of music, of metal in my life, because it's a mix of black metal, blues, maybe a little hard rock in there, industrial, gospel, and a little soul. And when I say gospel, you're like, really? Guys, I saw your face. I know, and I see your face. Trust me, it works. It's crazy how good they are. It's like this weaving of all these styles together. But you know how like Blood Incantation is sort of woven and out of like the clearer parts and went back to the death metal parts?
Sure.
It's like that, but with all those styles I just mentioned smashed together.
That sounds nuts.
Insanely talented. And some of the stuff is just balls out black metal. Like there's songs on there that are just like, it's like, it's just really intense,
Yeah.
stuff like that. But then all the other songs are like, or most of the songs are this eclectic mix of all these things together, which sounds like a crazy like mess. But then when you hear it, you're like, oh, okay, that's how that's working together. Okay,
Mhm.
so it'll take you a minute, but just let it build and you'll see where I'm going. So yeah, they even have like he started off as this solo thing, but then he started adding musicians to the mix. And I saw them last year here in Portland again. And they also have these like backup singers where it's just like two guys that sing on stage. That's all they do. And they do have an interesting presentation. They all wear kind of like black hoodies and they have this sort of, this sort of like, sort of like I don't know what the vibe is. It's just kind of like not cultish, but they're all wearing black and it's all kind of unified that way. So it's
Okay.
sort of dark, I guess you could say. But
Uh-huh.
they're excellent musicians. The tour I saw, they were just amazing, and they were super like appreciative that people came out to see them. They were from Switzerland. They were like, I can't believe anybody's here, and it was
Yeah.
it was packed. So so yeah, it was great. But if you get a chance, see them live if they tour. But then you got to listen to that album. I'm dying to hear what you think of it.
And it's Zeal, like Z with
Z
zebras.
Zeal,
Yeah.
the ampersand, and
Yeah.
then the word ardor, Ardor.
Oh, I did spell it right.
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah. So zeal and ardor, and again, several
Grief.
albums start with grief.
Right on.
Okay, that's your
All
assignment.
right.
All right.
Duly noted,
The
sir.
next episode, I want to hear what you think.
Okay.
Fair enough.
I dig all of those styles of music. Well, gospel not so much.
Well,
I
we
can
can hear it
appreciate,
here.
yeah, I can appreciate it as an art form. It's just not something I would, turn
Oh
on
no,
down
no, I know. I
here.
totally. Yeah, I'm not. I appreciate gospel. I like Ray Charles stuff like that too.
Yeah.
But but it's not like I sit down and actively listen to gospel all the time.
Yeah,
You know what I
right.
mean? So
Right.
but when you hear it woven in here, you'll hear how it works. You're gonna be like,
Definitely.
that fucking makes sense because it just makes sense, especially with the heritage of the Black history and stuff like that, with that ideology built into it.
Oh, cool.
It's really powerful. Yeah.
Okay. It's
So,
it's sad that it had to come about as a result of somebody's ignorance.
exactly. But what we got out of it was kind of a
Yeah.
beautiful thing. Yeah.
Huh.
So
Well,
yeah,
I hope the person who said that feels tiny now.
I do. Yeah, me too. I can't imagine how they wouldn't. Yeah, compared to what this because it's a successful band now. I mean, they're
Yeah.
touring Europe all the time, and so yeah, so I can't wait for something new to come
For
out.
them.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, so Zeal and Ardor. All right, that moves us over into talking about live shows and tours. So I saw that Behemoth announced a North American tour with Deicide, Immolation, and Rotting Christ.
Yep. I saw that.
That's a big show.
That's a hell of a bill.
Hell of a bill. Are you gonna go see it?
I don't know where it's playing around here. Is that I think I saw that it was playing in Reading.
Yeah, it's in Reading I forget the name of the venue there, but yeah, it's in Reading, Pennsylvania.
Yeah. I may if I go to see that, what's the date of the Reading
I
show? Do you
don't
know?
know. I'd have to look that up. I don't have the tour dates in front of me.
All right, I'll check it
So
out.
let me see if I can look
Um,
up something here.
I saw I may have to get myself like a hotel room if I go to see that show because that's like a 2 hour plus
That's like,
drive.
yeah, that's pretty far from where I used to live right near Reading, so I know where that is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's not too close to you. It's like it's like 2 or 3 hours maybe.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would plan on a overnighter there. Yeah, they're gonna be. Let me see. That tour's in April, and let me see. They're coming here in April. They're coming to Portland in April. I'm gonna have to see if I can get tickets for that. And then let me see. They're gonna be out your way. Where the hell's all the? Oh, there you go. Hang on one second. The date they're going to be at the Palladium Times Square. Really? Wow. Okay, so they're playing in Times Square.
Oh wow.
Uh,
Huh.
that's on. Let's see, May 2nd. They're playing there. Then let's see.
May 2nd.
Yeah, that's when they're playing in New York. I don't know if that's closer for you or not. But then let me see the.
I'm trying.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. What the hell? Where are the dates here? I don't see the. They're playing in McKees Rocks, Pennsylvania, but I'm not seeing the Reading date.
Oh, that's a little bit of a hike.
That's a hike, yeah. That's up towards Jim Thorpe, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how close they're getting to you after all.
I'll look into it.
Yeah, check it
I-
out.
I'm not crazy about the idea of going to see any shows in Manhattan at this point.
Yeah.
It's so expensive and it's
Pain
kind
in
of
the
hard
ass,
to it's a multi-stage trip like
Yeah.
either you drive into the city and you pay an exorbitant highway robbery price to park in the garage or you park somewhere in Jersey and take the train
Yeah.
and it's just that's a pain in the ass.
Yeah. That is a pain in the ass.
So I don't know. We'll see. I'll
We'll
look into
see.
it.
Okay. Well, that's a pretty powerful lineup.
Yeah.
I also saw that Clutch is going on the road with Corrosion of Conformity. And then they
Oh
also,
wow.
yeah, that's going to be a killer tour. And they got different opening bands between JD Pinkus, Whores, who I'm not familiar with, and another band called Crobot. So they're taking turns as far as who's opening. Yeah, I don't know those bands. So
Yeah.
I think the name Whores is interesting.
Sure.
Whores.
Sure.
So hey, let's go see some whores. Let's go see the whores.
Last week I went and saw some whores.
I saw whores live. He says, "Oh, they perform live, huh? Yeah. Well, that's whores.
Damn.
They're whores. That's what they do." So yeah. So but Clutch and Corrosion of COC, man, I'm definitely interested in that.
Okay.
So
I think I've seen Clutch somewhere along the way. I don't remember where.
okay.
I haven't seen Corrosion of Conformity, and there's somebody that's a band that I don't know how I never ended up getting into them because they have some crazy cool riffs.
Oh, so good. Well, they also have a really interesting kind of past because they started as a punk band, like punk and hardcore.
That's right.
And then they kind of evolved into more like the stoner rock when Pepper took over like the vocals and stuff. So when Pepper Keenan took over, then it became more stoner rocky, and then they are kind of what they are now.
Yep.
So, but yeah, I thought that had a pretty interesting evolution. So, all right, so look for Clutch and COC touring in April and May, and then another big one announced not too long ago was that Sepultura has announced their final U.S. tour ever. You
Oh
know they're
wow.
done. You know they're done, right?
I didn't. I
Yeah.
might have read it at some point.
Yeah, they're doing one last tour and then they're wrapping it up. No more
Okay.
Sepultura. No more Sepultura.
Okay. A lot people like to make a lot of fun of Sepultura because of their and the immense change in direction that their music took.
Yeah.
Especially, like the purists, the metal purists said,
Well, yeah, they're like, well, the band died in a lot of people's minds after the Cavalera brothers were no longer a part of it.
yeah. Hmm.
So after Igor and, Max, once they were out, then people were like, no more Sepultura.
Yeah.
But
A lot of people said, well, Roots was basically the beginning of the end of the
oh yeah, I can see that.
but so after Roots, I haven't paid attention to them, so I don't know what they're up to. But I might be kind of cool to see. Is Max and Igor now going to be in it?
No, not that I know of. I don't know if they're going to show up for any final shows or anything. I would think that maybe for the last couple shows they would have them on board or have them show up as guests or something, just to
Yeah.
kind of wrap it up. I would think there would be some sort of poetic ending to that, but I don't know where they left it as far as like if there's animosity in the band towards them or the other way around. I don't know. I know that Max and his brother had fights and they had they were on and off for a little bit, but
Yeah.
then Max has always been doing like. He's always been busy because he's either been a nail bomb or soulfly
Right.
or so he's always doing something.
Several
So
other
then the
projects.
Cavalier conspiracy. So he's got like
Yeah.
4 or 5 different bands he's in. So he's always doing something. And I know Igor's playing with him now, at least in the Cavalier conspiracy, he's playing with him. So they're back to kind of together. So I don't know. Hopefully they can work something out that I think as to the fans, that would be an amazing kind of like final,
That
final
would be.
sort
They
of
were
feather in the
amazing
cap.
back in the day.
Oh, big time.
I
Yeah.
got to see them open for Pantera.
Oh, did you really? Oh, that's a good. That would have been
It
a
was
good.
in Indianapolis, and I just it was the Chaos AD era.
Oh, damn, that would have been a good show.
Oh, it was tight as hell, man. It was no joke. I was supposed to see them like in '91 when they were touring not beneath the remains uh not schizophrenia.
Schizophrenia. Oh,
No, the damn, I now I hate this. That's the only problem with this format of discussion. It's like when I'm on the spot and no, that
I know,
part of
but
my
it's like
that's just like
that's why I go
after
to
the
my
way you've been
computer.
treated for the past 30 years, go fuck yourself.
Well, I can so relate to that. That's why I have to go to
Oh,
my
it's
computer.
Arise. It's the
Oh,
album
it's
Arise.
Arise. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, I don't think you saw this because I kind of updated it, but the last episode we were talking about the bass player that replaced the guy in Overkill, Dee Dee Vernon, for the tour, and I couldn't think
And I later found it was Christian Old Wolbers
from Fear Factory, yeah.
from Fear
So
Factory. Yeah.
yeah, I couldn't think of it either. I had this brain fart in the middle of the episode, so I don't know if you saw it, but I went back and I put in a graphic that says, "Okay, the name of the guy that Sean forgot," and I put his
Thank
name in
you.
there.
Thank you.
Well, I didn't want to like do this service to the guy and not like credit him. So he's
Of
in.
course.
So just so you know, I did fix that and I put his name in there.
Well, thank you to our listeners. We are sorry.
We're so professional here.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, because that's why I have my computer so I could look it up real quick. I was like, oh yeah, there it is. So I don't look like too much of an idiot. All right. So but yeah, it's one of those things that I hope they can bring it to the close that they want to. And it'd be nice if they brought the original members back a little bit, but you know,
Yeah.
be cool for the fans. But yeah, I kind of had the same relationship that you did. That after Roots and stuff, I just kind of lost touch with them. I think part of it was because of Max not being involved because I was kind of connected to
That
him.
had a lot to do with it. Yeah.
Yeah, so no, for me that was part of like, I don't know if it's not to say that they're not still a good band, but I think that the
Right.
direction definitely just did pivot with them.
It just wasn't the same.
It wasn't the same. So, all right. So, any other live tours or shows you got tickets for or anything coming up?
Yes. I will be going to see the band Sun
Ooh,
on April 10th in Washington, D.C.
now who's the band? Sun?
Sun, Sunn.
Oh, I don't think I know this band. Give me the
Whoa.
look. Give me the look.
I saw them once back in the early 2000s in Philly, and it's just basically two guys
Huh.
playing Gibson Les Pauls
Oh,
at maximum fucking volume, and there's no drums. It's just
Huh.
the two of them. And I don't know what they're tuned down to, but they are tuned
Is
down.
is it vocals
It's-
or is it all instrumental?
No vocals. It's
No
all
vocals.
instrumental, and it's basically them just hitting the guitars and letting them ring out.
Huh.
Hitting different notes, and it's not that they don't take time to write, make it a composition that's actually like organized.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just that it's so fucking loud.
Where are they playing?
I don't remember the name of the place in DC. I think it's a
It's like
theater.
It's a theater. Do they have that big of a following?
Oh yeah.
No
And
kidding.
they're a cult. They have a very cult following.
No
So they
kidding.
come out, speaking about like hoodies, they come out dressed in like monk robes with the hoods over them.
What? Really?
And they play they have smoke machines, right?
Oh.
And it just becomes a very ethereal atmosphere. They have people going around in the beginning before they start playing, handing out earplugs.
Oh, they're that
And-
loud? They hand out earplugs?
Dude, when I saw them, they were at the Unitarian Universalist Church.
Oh,
or
the
whatever
church.
in
Yeah,
Philly,
Unitarian Church in Philly. Yeah.
and I could feel it in the pews of the church, like the benches.
Whoa,
I
vibrating.
could feel it, and it was vibrating my sphincter in such a way that I will not say that it was unpleasant.
Oh, that's why you're going back to see them again. It's the sphincter vibrations.
Nobody can touch me the way that they can.
That's going to be one of our catchphrases, sphincter vibrations.
Yeah. Yeah. So they're phenomenal. Like their live shows are just phenomenal. And
Wow, I'll have to look them up. I had no idea.
yeah, I would
Sun.
recommend checking them out.
Okay.
I
And
think
when-
name comes from like the amps that they play through.
Oh, yeah. Those old amps from like the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they got that whole fuzz thing going on.
Yeah, that's a perfect description. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Are you, when's the date? Like, when do you see them?
April 10th. It's a
Do
Friday.
Did they have an opener or it's just them?
I think oh no, it's who's opening for them? Crap, I don't know.
There's some really good bands that we're going to be talking about down the road, like stoner rock bands that I'll be introducing that you might know of already, but bands like Pelican and also
Holla.
Elder.
Holla.
Oh, you know them. Excellent.
Yeah.
I want to talk about those guys. I love those
Right on.
bands.
Right
So,
on.
Right in our same wheelhouse there. Okay. Cool.
Russian Circles.
Oh, I've heard of them, but I haven't heard them.
Okay.
So
We'll get
okay.
into it.
All right. I'll look into it. All right. So let's not get ahead of ourselves. All right. But just for the future, some other bands will probably kick around.
Giggity.
All right. I think that wraps us up. Anything else you want to talk about or say or do?
No,
or-
sir.
Are we done? Is that it?
I'm ready for summer. It's
We
cold as shit over
got
here,
all the
man.
metal out here. Oh, don't be such a pussy.
Listen to you. Thank you for slapping me back into reality.
I'm a winter guy. Come on, man. I'm so fucking sick of summer. It gets so goddamn hot. I'm over it. I'm so over the heat.
Okay.
So I'll take the winter. But
you get a lot of humidity out by you too.
Oh, fuck yeah. Like it gets like I have to worry about the humidity inside my car, inside my vehicle. I have to put like a towel in there and wipe it down on the inside.
That's uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's how moist it is out here. It's very moist. We're very moist out here. Yeah.
Well, you get a lot of those atmospheric rivers by you.
Totally. Yeah, I'm in Portland, Oregon, in case anybody's wondering. But yeah, that's we do get a lot of atmospheric rivers. So for sure.
Well, I'm not complaining about I'm fine with there not being insects constantly flying into my face. And I'm fine not mowing the lawn.
Yeah.
I needed a break from that.
All right. So we'll wrap it up there, and we'll see you in the next episode. Thank you for joining us. Please share our podcast with anyone that appreciates heavy music. Be sure to visit our social feeds and drop us a comment with your thoughts on the podcast.